Hello and welcome to PCOS Conversations with Julie and Laura. Nice to see you. Hey Laura, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. And I think I need to introduce myself. So
Oh yeah.
I'm Julie Duffy Dillon. I'm a registered dietitian that uses only non-diet approaches. And I help people with PCOS to reject diets and feel more at home in their body. So that's me.
I'm Laura, and I am a body liberation yoga teacher. I teach yoga, I run courses on body liberation, and host events about all of those things together. And I just want to help people honor and celebrate their bodies as they are. I have PCOS, and so I come to this with also lived experience. So I am excited to be here with you, Julie, to talk about some random topic that we don't know yet. Should we start with a card pull?
Yeah, card pull and then a question. Is that usually how we do it? Okay.
Sounds right.
All right. So we have a mini card deck that it's just too bright in my room.
You can never see it.
There you go. So I'm going to pick a card, and there are a bunch of different statements that Laura and I really like to focus on with PCOS on the back of them. And today's is PCOS diet culture is racist.
Yeah, it is.
In case there was any doubt, Laura agrees with the card that she printed.
Oh my God.
You know, and I know you and I talk about this all the time, and we always talk about it. It's such a big part of the problems that we see in PCOS, but how do we frame it to someone who may be shocked by this?
I think that I would start big picture. So racism is part of white supremacy, capitalism, racism, diet culture. All of these things are part of the same system of oppression that we all live within. And so I think that if you're new to thinking about the PCOS world being racist, then it might help to start with that bigger picture and see how, kind of all these things slot in. It's not just like this one little thing over here. It's everything coming together to create an experience for people that reinforces the racism and the dieting and the healthism, the ableism, like all of the things, right? Does that make sense? Like kind of starting like
yeah
broad strokes.
Yeah, and as a dietitian, whenever I would tell people that I don't think diets are health promoting, I think they're harmful. And a lot of the times people would say to me, like, well, what's the big deal? It's just a diet. Like, what if someone just wants to lose a little bit of whatever? And what I think we've gotten away from is like, how did all this shit start? Like, the origins of dieting have its roots in white supremacy. Like, that's how it started. And I know for me as a white person, really appreciating that just helps me to better appreciate how deep rooted it is, how strong it is. And, as someone with multiple privileges, like, it's going to be really easy for me to reject diet culture, when I'm like benefiting from white supremacy every second. So
also, sorry to cut you off, but it's also that oppresses all of us.
Yes. Oh, of course. Yeah.
Obviously you have some privilege, but like you are also oppressed under the same system.
Yeah.
And so just to be like a little more specific, maybe for folks who are like, I'm still not with you on this. So if you think about the lived experience of somebody who has PCOS, every day there are things that happen to you or things that you deal with that can either be positive or negative experiences. They can be free from oppression or they can be oppressive, right? And so we start with like the broad strokes, like I was talking about. We live within diet culture, which says that everyone should be striving for a certain kind of like perfect ideal body, right? And there are very, very few people in this world who could actually like achieve that. It's like really not realistic for most people. And depending on your lineage, your background, like your body is never going to look like that because it's based on this like European, like white, thin, ideal body that is just not what all bodies are going to look like. And then thinking about like, so within the world of PCOS, the usual, what is the word? Advice? Oh my God, my brain. The usual advice is to like go on a diet, lose weight, and you'll cure your PCOS, even though we know that there's no cure for PCOS. And so they'll tell you cut carbs, go on a keto diet, all of these things, and to try to make your body look like that. And then take into account like accessing healthcare. So it has been shown like time and time again that people of color, that fat people, that disabled people receive poorer healthcare, right? They don't get that same level of healthcare that somebody in an able body, in a white body, in a thin body is going to get. I've seen studies that show that there's a bias that Black people and fat people don't feel pain in the same ways that thin people and white people feel pain. And so they're going to be subjected to rougher treatment, to less care. I mean, there's so many like little things like that, but like, and if you are in a Black body, if you're in a fat body, if you're in a disabled body, you're like, yes, you're probably like, yeah, I'm aware of this because you live it. And so it's just like all of these, like there's the big ones and there's the little ones, and it's just it's like if they're all like big stones piled on top of you.
Oh, it's so heavy.
It's so heavy. Like you carry that weight everywhere with you every day.
Yeah. Well, I know too, in our PCOS Body Liberation community, we read for book club, Fearing the Black Body, which goes into like if you have any interest in this or you're like, whatever, we would challenge you to read this. But it's one that really helped me to appreciate all of the layers of it.
Sabrina Strings.
Yes.
Fearing the Black Body by Sabrina Strings.
Oh, of course you have your copy right there.
Why, yes, I do. So here's what it looks like.
Yeah.
In case that helps, there's it's in the sunlight. Okay.
There it is. You got it. Yeah, it's quite academic in its language, which
it's a little hard to get through, but it's really good. It's worth the read.
It's so worth it.
Little small.
Well, and I did the audio version, which was much easier for me to be able to take in. Yeah,
that would probably help.
But I didn't see the pictures, which I know the pictures were in there too, and so I didn't get that part. But anyway, so that's our card pool.
Oh my God, that was just a card pool. I'm like ready to talk about it the whole time.
Maybe we can. I don't know if that's part of one of the things that we dropped in our little box, but
honestly, at this point, I don't even know what's in the box.
I don't know either. Maybe we can stack the deck or something and add it in there just in case, and maybe it'll be in there twice. But I know we have a question to answer.
Yeah. Let's answer this question. I'm excited to talk about the question. So the question was, do I have it up anymore? I don't have it up anymore, but the question was about the dark spots on your skin that you get, and also any wisdom about supplements.
Yeah, and it was from our last episode where we talked about hair, and hair is connected to high androgens like testosterone. And this person was asking about dark spots, and the dark spots can be in lots of different places, like under the armpits, on our sides, under our neck, around our neck. And the technical name is acanthosis nigricans.
I feel really proud of myself because I knew what it was called.
I heard you say it before. I know you know what it's called. Yeah, but well, and it's basically if someone has high insulin in their body, melanin, which is part of how our skin has different color to it. Melanin and insulin kind of like, I don't know, is it chelate? No, that's the opposite. Well, they are like magnetic to each other. And so when there's high circulating insulin levels, there's more melanin depositing in certain spots where there's like folds in the skin. So wherever you have folds, you may see it. So this person,
yeah, sorry, I keep cutting.
That's okay. Well, I would say this person said they were mentioning it. They saw it under their arms, and I have to just show you under my arms when I do that. And the thing that I always think of with the under the arm thing is when I first started working with PCOS, Dove deodorant came out with a deodorant that said it would help erase those dark spots under the arms. Yes, Laura, do you have a question?
I don't have a question. I just make that pisses me off so much. And I just want to remind everyone that that deodorant that came out, it was supposed to make your underarms more attractive, was by the company Dove, who has made millions of dollars, maybe billions, I don't actually know, but they have made surely millions of dollars off of their body positive campaign and the way that they sell their products. But they are also the company that brought you deodorant to make your underarms more attractive.
And Axe. Remember that AXE?
They own Axe.
Yes.
Oh
same parent company. But yeah, so the thing about it, not only was it like, who the hell cares what under our arms look like? Are we really needing to spend time on this? But then also, well, I know, well, and also like, as like a person that would have to spend more time on like how our skin color looks in all these different places, like it has to be so uniform, even under this area.
Oh yeah, you have to be perfect and smooth and hairless and one color. But the problem is that because I used to have dark underarms for a while. I haven't had that in a really long time. That was like when I was a teenager, and I was really self-conscious about it. I would have bought the shit out of that deodorant when I was.
Oh yeah, and I said it in such an insensitive way too. So
and people like would comment on it. So yeah, I think just like recognizing that.
Yeah.
I get the question a lot of times, how do I make my underarms lighter?
Yeah.
And on Instagram, people will like ask that question, and I don't answer it because I don't know the answer, and also don't really want to promote that.
Yeah.
But people are like, rub, just a half of a lemon on your armpit, and like, anyway, just all these things, and not to discount people's feelings, but I really want us to, like, I think where you're going with this is like, analyze like why we feel like we need to.
Yes. Yeah. Like I really want to discredit the culture, not the person who's wanting that solution. So I thank you for mentioning that. And as like a clinician, I'm like, it's covering up like a sign of insulin resistance or like high insulin levels that a doctor may be able to help just know more what's going on in your body by having that just like clinical information. And so that's a part of it. But like it is something that can come and go. Like you said, you had it during puberty, which there's certain times in our life where our body goes through hormonal shifts, whether we have PCOS or not, and insulin goes with that. Some people, if they are pregnant, they may experience it more too, whether they have PCOS or not, just because there's more insulin levels during that time. But basically, it's something that can go down or go away by whatever tool you find that helps lower insulin, which may be a supplement. It may mean making sure you're eating enough. It may mean better sleep, or all of those. I don't know. So, and I know part of the question too was supplements, but before we go to that, anything else you want to?
Yeah, I just
do with spots.
About the dark spots that like, so I get them. They come and go. I get right here under my chin a patch sometimes, and it comes and it goes. And so, and I have learned to. So like Julie always talks about like listening to your body's cravings to help understand what's going on in your body. And I think this is basically what you just said. It's like the same thing. When I see this appear, it lets me know something about what's going on in my body. And I can look at, what I'm eating and how I'm feeling after I eat things. And am I balancing like enough protein with the carbohydrates? And have I not been taking my supplements? And am I getting enough sleep? Am I super stressed? So it was no surprise to me when it had been gone for a long time. But then once the pandemic hit, it came back immediately.
Yeah.
Especially in the beginning because I was super stressed. But over time, as I've learned to relax and manage the stress of the pandemic, it's gone away.
Yeah.
And so it's really interesting. And then I also get it in between my breasts here, which people don't usually talk about here. But this is the one I've been getting this since I was a teenager. Off and on, the patches will show up here. So I just want to say, like, if you get them here, you're not weird.
No, it's anywhere skin folds.
Yeah, and so I know I got it on the back of my neck for a while, but I don't often look at the back of my neck. So.
Yeah. So, yeah, and it's something that I know when I worked more with kids, parents would say that they thought it was dirt, or they would like try to rub things on it. And it's not dirt.
Yeah. I just want to say one last thing about it, in that I know that it can feel like it can make you unhappy to have it. Like I don't love that it's right here. I feel like, oh my, you know, like everyone can see it all the time. I understand the impulse to want to like make it go away, but I would, and it's taken me time to like work through this and come to this place. But like I would encourage everyone to see it as a tool to help you understand what's going on in your body. And from a like body positive, body liberation place, like just honoring that it exists, and you, there's literally nothing you can do about it except for wait and, you know, try to manage your insulin. And, you know, like bleaching creams and lemon juice and all this stuff, like it's not helping. It's not what your body needs. And I get like I've been made fun of for the ones here. For a really long time. I would only wear like swimsuits that covered it, or, you know, like I would never want anyone to see it because it was embarrassing. So I get it, but I just really want to encourage everyone to like recognize that you can't do anything about it, and that it's part of your body, and it is a tool that you can use to help to understand what's going on.
Yeah. It's like a way your body's communicating that something's going on. And so super common. And also it is something that may come and go. Well, that's okay. Great. And I think the other part of the question kind of segues into that too, which wasn't it about supplements?
Oh yeah, supplements.
So, you know, there are some supplements that can help with lowering testosterone. Like one in particular is inositol. And I think the question actually was specifically asking about ovositol, which is a type of inositol supplement. And we could spend probably a whole thing on that, but it's a newer one in the PCOS world. I have a really kind of thorough blog post if you ever want to read about inositols, but it is a supplement that I encourage most people with PCOS to experiment with. Talk to your healthcare provider. We can't give advice over a YouTube video. But if you want more info, you can go to, we'll put it in the notes below, but juliedillonrd.com/inositol.
I would also just say that it's very probable that your doctor has never heard of it. And what I hear from a lot of people, and what happened to me, is that I went to my gynecologist and said, hey, I heard about this thing called ovositol. It's this combination of whatever. Like, do you think I should try it? And she was like, I don't know what that is. You shouldn't do it. And so obviously you should.
So frustrating.
But that happens a lot. I hear this from so many people about it. And so I decided to try it anyway. So I would definitely talk to your doctor about it, but don't be surprised if they're like, I don't know what that is. Don't do it. Because I found that it seems like the medical world is not paying attention to that.
Yeah, it's one that has a lot of really promising research. And honestly, I'm a dietitian that is not really that big into supplements. Like I kind of am jaded by them because it just kind of seem kind of slimy and gimmicky. And so, but that's one that I really see a lot of help for people who are like trying to improve their cycle or to help with their insulin levels. And
I personally find a lot of benefit in taking ovositol.
Oh, yeah. So thanks for the question. If you have any other questions for us or anything that's coming up listening to us so far, put them in the comments. Hopefully we can share it in the next episode.
Yeah. All right. It's time. So if you're new here, you're like, what is it time for? It's time for to shake the box of topics and pick one. So we put these in here a long time ago, so we don't even remember what's in here.
I know, we should have kept a list.
There you can see there are little post-its. So I feel like we're doing a raffle.
What am I gonna win?
We're gonna win. Ooh.
I can't wait to get my present.
Well, it's not a very nice present.
Oh no.
Oh, I don't know why I always try to check. It says symptom shaming.
Oh, that's very interesting considering what we were just talking about.
Yep. A lot of thoughts and opinions about this.
We'll start because I know you do. And hearing you describe this part of the PCOS experience has been really helpful for me as a clinician. So,
okay. So here's my like general stuff that I say about it, and then we can dig into more. When I got diagnosed, or actually even before I got diagnosed, I was pretty sure I had PCOS. And so I was like Googling around, looking for like information about it, or like, you know, online communities, message boards, whatever. And I would find these little PCOS communities. There's a lot. There's a ton of PCOS community online. But I never found one that felt good and like affirming and supportive and like a real community that I would want to be a part of, because I would like kind of poke around a little bit in there, and everything was super negative. And if you didn't toe the line, and the line is that you hate your symptoms, you hate your body, you are actively trying to remove hair, lighten skin, lose weight, whatever, if you're not falling in line with those things, then you like weren't allowed to be there, basically, or you were like allowed to be there, but like you weren't cool, you weren't popular, nobody wanted to talk to you.
Yeah.
And if you expressed not agreeing with those things, people would jump all over you, you know. So like you just like couldn't be an outlier, so you had to fall in line. And so as somebody who has been invested in non-diet world and non-weight loss for a long time, I was like, oh, well, this doesn't feel good to me. And I would be like, well, you know, like, is this really, because then I really didn't know anything about PCOS. I was like, you know, do we really have to lose weight? Like, is this a thing? Because I'm trying to be not weight lossy and not diet culture-y. And like, all I'm hearing is that that's what I have to do. And they were like, you have to do it. You're killing yourself. You're ruining your body. You know, you already caused this by being fat, and now you're going to keep it going by being fat. Like all terrible, awful things. And like, if somebody like had facial hair, but like didn't want to shave or didn't want to demonize it, then they were ostracized. If you didn't want to lose weight, you were ostracized. If you like had the, you know, dark spots, but you weren't like trying to get rid of them, you were ostracized. So just like in general, everything was just really negative and really shamey of these symptoms that we have. So if you like express like, oh, I had really bad carb cravings, so I like made a big bowl of pasta, they would jump all over you, you know. And so just everything, it wasn't really supportive. And so, but I found that time and time again, and that's why I just stopped trying to be in PCOS community, because I was like, this is not for me. Clearly, I'm gonna have to go it alone.
Oh, well, that
And
sucks.
luckily, that's not true.
Yeah.
Luckily, I don't have to go it alone because we have our community. But so for me, that's where my like passionate like response comes from, is that when I tried to find community, what I found was shaming of the symptoms that I had and my viewpoint towards them.
Yeah.
And so like for me, I have dark spots, and I have learned to just like be okay with it, because I tried to lighten them and nothing worked, and it actually irritated my skin and like caused bad things to happen to my skin. And so I said, let me just let them be. And then I learned from you that I can actually use them to understand what's going on. But like the shaminess would always be like, well, you should try this, and you haven't tried this, and you should try this again, and you should lose weight. And if you would just lose weight, then that would stop happening, and like blah blah. So sorry, I'm like rambling, but
no, it's all important, because what I gather from that is like there's these underlying assumptions that everyone with PCOS is supposed to strive for, and this kind of reminds me with the card pull, like the white, thin ideal who has no spots or pores or anything like that, and is hairless.
Hairless, smooth, even toned skin.
Yeah, thin and white. Like everyone is striving for that, and or like that's the you know, the overall impression. And that if someone, and like basically like even if it hurts, even if it's torture, like because you have PCOS, that's just the expectation.
That's the thing. It's like you're getting what you deserve. That's the vibe.
Oh, the shame.
This is what you deserve because you made this happen by being fat. You did this to yourself, so you deserve the shame. You deserve the negativity. You deserve that internalized racism and fat phobia and like ableism, like all the things you deserve it because you did this to yourself. That's what it comes down to.
Oh my gosh, like
because you're fat, it's so rooted in fat phobia because you're fat. And I know that there are people with PCOS who aren't fat, but most of us are fat. We're on some, you know, like part of the spectrum of fatness. And that's really like, to me, that's what it comes down to, is like you did this to yourself. And so I don't feel like, you know, you don't get any sympathy for any of this. and all of it is demonized. It's like, you know, when you get cancer, people aren't mean to you like that. You know, if you have, I can't think of any other like,
yeah, it's one of the few conditions.
illnesses,
Yeah,
you know,
I think diabetes is similar.
diabetes is very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Very similar. People are like, you did this to yourself, so I don't feel bad for you, blah, blah,
Oh
blah.
yeah, I used to see that in medical care all the time. Yeah, but the
Mhm.
way you just described that as someone without PCOS, I'm so glad you explained it because I don't know, I think I just got a different peek in. Just the shame, they're like really as much as I can appreciate it. Oh, it's so like I was like, oh, I feel it even through the Zoom, you know? So
Yeah,
so
you know,
important.
it's really hard. Like I would see people who had like facial hair and they didn't want to have facial hair. Oh, out of focus. And they would talk about like I have to shave every day so that nobody can see it, and like my skin is like red and painful and raw. And to me, I'm like, well, don't shave every day.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you doing this to yourself? It's like it's unattractive. Like they're like, it looks terrible, it hurts,
Yeah.
all this stuff, and the like kind of common line would be, well, you just have to do it. You just have to keep doing it. Maybe you should get laser on your face so that you don't have the hair. Like it's just like punishment, you know?
Yeah, it seems like how the push for weight loss is like all these diets don't work, but like let's just keep figuring out other ones to try. I'm like, well, why can't we just not push weight loss?
Yeah.
You know, instead of like trying different ways to torture.
I think that part of this is that people don't view PCOS as a chronic illness.
Oh, that's a good point.
You know, like I'm just thinking of that as you were talking. Like people see it as, first of all, something that you can cure when we know that there is no cure for PCOS, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if we can just do the right thing, if we can just fix our body, if we can just stop being fat, if we could just, you know, whatever, shave our face enough, or, you know, use bleaching cream on our skin enough, or whatever it is, like we could get past it.
Mm.
And then we can really live our life and we can go on and like whatever. It's like the, you know, oh, well, once I lose weight, I'll do this. Or once I, you know, whatever, I'll do this. Kind of mentality that comes a lot when you're fat. It's like once I, you know, can cure my PCOS, then I can like be nicer to myself. But until then, I don't deserve it, you know?
Mm. Oh, the thing I hear too is like there's no other, it's like framed as like this is the only option.
Mm-hmm.
And the PCOS body liberation community, I hope people are exploring multiple options and having permission for whatever they choose, whether it's continue to shave their face or not, but just having options, and that choosing one does not make a person a bad person or failing or doing it wrong, but just your body.
And like allowing, so like in the like shaving your face example, like I don't care if you shave your face or not, but if you shave your face, I don't want you to do it as a punishment or like as a like in a shameful way. Like I have to do this in order to be a worthy person in the world, to be presentable to other people. Like fuck that. Like you're presentable exactly as you are.
Yes.
You know, and if other people have a problem with that, that's their problem. It's not your problem. And I know that it's also very easy to say that and very hard to live that experience, but that's part of the work. It's like, and I actually personally know people who have been through that whole process, specifically about the facial hair. And like, I have seen how hard that is. But once you do the work and you get through it, you might decide to shave one day and then you might not shave for a week. And it doesn't become a moral failing anymore. It's just, I'm giving my skin a break.
Yeah.
I'm going to be kind to the skin on my face for this week and give it a rest. And if you decide to shave, it's not, oh, I have to destroy and eliminate this hair that is disgusting and shameful. It's like, I would like to have a, you know, I would like to have a hairless face today. And then the act of doing it can become, instead of like a sad, shameful act, it can become a loving, tender act.
Oh, that's such a different way to like think about it and experience it.
Yeah. and it goes for all kinds of things. It goes for, you know, any way that you might potentially be mean or cruel to your body or rough with it, as if you don't deserve softness and kindness and pleasure. We always talk about that. Yeah.
Well, really important topic. I wish it was talked about more in the PCOS world. So thanks for sharing your experiences with it.
Yeah, I'm glad to talk about it. And hopefully, you know, somebody who hears this can, it'll resonate with them. And I just want to say, like, I fully recognize that it's really hard. All of this shit is hard.
There's so much nuance, and like that's what's missing from a lot of the PCOS conversations is the nuance. Like they're like allowing to explore the different kind of options, and just that what it comes down to for me is that like we need to fix so much in this world. Like, this world has so many problems that are taking away a person's like right to have authority and agency in their body, you know?
There's a lot of things we need to fix in this world, but ourselves, we're not one of them. We don't need to fix Yes. So I would love to hear what people think, like, as we've been talking, like thoughts that have come up for you. Like, we've hit on a lot of different things. So if you have any comments to share, please put them in the comments. Like, I'm really curious to hear like how you approach all of these things in your body if you have PCOS. And yeah, I think that's all we have time for today.
It is. And it's time to say goodbye. So
okay, all the things. Please like this video if you liked it. Please subscribe to our channel. Yes. We're really close to 100 subscribers, which feels very exciting.
Oh, maybe you could be the 100th subscriber. That would make us so happy.
Come find us over on Instagram. We're at PCOS Body Liberation. Our website is PCOSBodyLiberation.com, and you can see more about who we are and the community that we have created that is non-diet.
And anti-symptom shaming.
Anti-symptom shaming, for sure. Okay, are you ready to cheers with me?
Yes, I have to get my mug. Oh, there we go.
How could you not have it ready? All right, wait. Here's to body liberation.
Body liberation. Clink. Oh, I went it the wrong way. There we go. Take care, y'all.
Bye.